Good evening, everyone. Stu Nye, Mark Gallagher, Uxbridge football coach Bob Martellio here for another version of Inside the 20. First game is in the books. Big win, coach, 20-14 at Oxford last Friday night. And heck of a game. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. I was out in Westford. Mark was announcing the game. And, great way to start the season. Break it down. What do you think the keys to the game was?
First off, it was a great win by the team, by the players. 20-14, as you said. It was kind of a roller coaster type game. We went up 14-0 in the second quarter, came out in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden Oxford gets two quick touchdowns on us. Comes all of a sudden it's 14-14. We had a decision to make at that point as a coaching staff. We had to slow the game down a little bit. We got into our power I formation, and we were able to move the ball down, take some time off the clock, and score what would become eventually the game-winning touchdown. And but the kids were faced with quite a bit of adversity and had different opportunities within the game itself that they stood up, and we had several different individuals stand out. So good win by the team, but definitely a roller coaster victory.
Well, especially with an Oxford team that certainly wasn't the 1-10 Oxford team that was last year that everybody saw. That basically, I believe it was 41-7.
Yep.
Uxbridge rolled them last year.
Yeah.
And what Rob and I noticed, and what people will notice on Channel 13 when you see the game, is that first quarter seemed to be almost like a boxing match.
Yep.
Sort of feeling each other out and jabbing and punching, and came away without a score. But tell us about that first big play, and we'll hopefully we'll be able to see that at home too.
Sure.
But that was an interesting play call there. As why don't you set that up for us, Coach?
The first touchdown
exactly,
that you're
first
speaking
touchdown.
of. We had driven down, obviously, into Oxford's territory, and we were faced with a 4th and 9 or 10 from about the 10-yard line, so we decided to go for the field goal. Coach Stewart had come up to me, and we had practiced this play all week because we had noticed that Oxford really comes hard after the PATs and field goals. And he looked at me and said, "Go for it," and I said, "Yep." And we ran the fake field goal, and the kids ran perfect execution. Mitch Page, the holder, took the snap. Oliver Sawyer at the tight end ran his route, and there was nobody around him. Perfect execution on the players' part, and it really gave us a little upbeat moment there.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
and especially with Mitch Page, who has quarterback experience.
Correct.
One of the announcers in the booth, Stu, did sniff out that play. I won't say which one, but he's taller than 5'6", so we'll just leave it at that.
Dead giveaway right
exactly. There. So speaking of which, Rob Finnegan is away tonight. I think he's getting lifts put in his shoes or something to that effect.
Once hit that 5'6" mark.
Exactly. So hopefully he doesn't get caught for lifting in the courtroom. But yeah, a tremendous play there, and to go for it that early and sort of throw that trickery into it,
Sure.
I think sort of set Oxford back. You guys came back with the next touchdown, which was, I believe, Jake Tapp with a 1-yard run. But again, a series of long drives that ate up yardage on the field, ate up a lot of time, and ended up with that second touchdown with the 2-point conversion, which
Correct.
made it 14-0. So
well, one of the things that we've expressed to the team from the very beginning is controlling the ball, not turning the ball over. The second touchdown was set up by a turnover by our defense. We recovered a fumble by Oxford, and we took advantage of it. We obviously ran with Jake Tapp. I think he broke off a nice 30 or 40-yard run. Then Cam Stewart had 2 nice runs, and we had a play called, but we give Jake Tapp the option, if there's nobody there over the center when we're in that close, run a QB sneak from a yard away. It was successful. Then we went for 2 because we had missed the initial PAT, and Oliver Sawyer made another nice grab. The ball was bobbled. It was either tipped by the defender, and went back up in the air, and Oliver kept his eyes on it and had a nice reception there to go up 14-0.
Yeah, we noticed it was a game of adjustment because you and I had talked before the game. You were going to come out with a no huddle, call 3 plays, and that unfortunately ended in a 3-and-out.
Yeah, it did. We thought maybe we could come out and catch them off guard, but it seemed like that they had our scouting report or something of that sort. We went 3-and-out, but our backup plan was to go to the spread, and several times throughout the game we had to make adjustments. And during a game, it's adjustments on the fly, but you have to be prepared ahead of time. And the kids did a very good job. The right personnel was in there to be able to adapt and be able to change on the fly.
Yeah, so 14-0 Stu at half. everything's looking great for Uxbridge, and everybody's sort of thinking again. The Oxford Pirates were overlooked, 1-10 last year. They come out second half. Coach, what happened?
Second half, we get the ball, and first play, Jake goes down cramping up. So our game plan in the second half was to run a little bit more with the quarterback and Jared. So we had to go to a change. Mitch Page came in and did a very good job, but it seemed like that the momentum shifted a little bit in Oxford's favor. They get the ball back and they come down and they score on a nice long play by them, although some of the stuff could be questionable on if the receiver had held on to the ball or not, but that's the type of stuff that you have to live with.
Well, Stu and I were talking about that before, Stu being a professional referee, where the Oxford player went out of bounds, came in, made the first reception, and surprisingly, the referee missed it. And then, as Coach pointed out, and you'll see in the film, the ball was also on the ground. So a couple of miscues there. But again, Rob and I were saying on the broadcast, it was a series of tests, and like you mentioned earlier, adversities, and how Uxbridge was going to react to that. And I thought that they passed all those tests and those challenges extremely well. So coaching staff must have been pleased with that.
Well, and we were, and I think you used a perfect analogy previously is that it was like a boxing match. It was a back and forth, but we had focused all week with the players that you're going to face adversity at some point, whether it was that game, a future game. How do you react to it? You've got two options. You can either put your head down, or you can keep your head up high and make sure that you go out and do 110% on the next play. And that's what our players did, because Oxford did come back and tie it right back up. Unfortunately, we had a 3 and out. The momentum really had shifted towards Oxford. They came back to tie it up. But we took the next kickoff, had decent field position, and we were able to go right down. So the kids responded. When the play was presented to them in the situation, they responded. And that's something that we focused with during the game and after the game, and we made sure that they knew about it as well.
Go ahead, Stu.
No, I was just, that's terrific. You lose your starting quarterback, like Mark said, everything looks, rosy, and that's and then unfortunately Jake went down, and you guys made the coaching adjustments and just kind of held serve there. That's terrific.
Right.
Well, and you mentioned with players going down that Anthony Abate had gone down in the West Boylston scrimmage, and Nick Petrillo stepped up. And why don't you tell us a little bit about Nick filling that role and the nice job he did on Friday night?
Yeah, perfect example of the type of player that we're trying to groom here is somebody who's unselfish, who's out for the team. And in a situation where Anthony got hurt in the West Boylston scrimmage, Nicky was actually our starting tight end. And he's always played tight end in his high school career, and we moved him to left guard, and he did not bat an eye about it. He just said, whatever's the best for the team, that's what I'm going to do.
That's great.
And he fit in, and it was kind of a crash course during the week on making sure he's got the right blocking assignments and whatnot. But for his first game at guard, he did pretty darn well, because like you had mentioned too, Mark, that the Oxford team, people thought, hey, 1-10, they were a tough, physical football team, and they had some very good athletes. The quarterback, the receiver, they presented some problems for us.
Yeah, that Tremblay and Pickett certainly did a nice job. And Tremblay, if it weren't for a couple, short passes, a couple overthrows, again, that was a game of balance. And I thought Uxbridge did a nice job of maintaining balance throughout 4 quarters, and especially, losing a 14-0 lead, coming back and winning that game at the end. And Stu, you've got some stats of some kids that put up some nice numbers in that game.
Just looking here for people in TV land, Jake Taporowski. Passing 95 yards, 7 for 16. Mitch Page coming in, excellent job in reserve. At quarterback, a 17-yard throw. Rushing, Cam Stewart, sophomore, 23 attempts for 90 yards. Jake Tapp, 6 attempts, 62 yards. Jared Stewart, brother for Cam. I noticed, I went to the BMR scrimmage coach, and I noticed, especially out of the I formation, boy, Jared laying some real good blocks for his brother there. Yeah. Really, really nice. That's important. John Sylvia, 1 attempt, 11 yards. As far as receiving, Oliver Sawyer, who we've mentioned, a sophomore, big, tall sophomore a couple times, 3 catches for 40 yards. 1 2-point conversion?
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
a 2-point conversion
He
as
had-
well as a touchdown.
Yep, as a touchdown, okay. Mitch Page, 2 catches, 48 yards. Brent Whitlock, a sophomore, 2 catches, 8 yards. And Jared Stewart, 1 catch for 16 yards. So, good production. It looks like just top of the head, let's see, 88, 96, about 115 passing,
Yep.
and 150 and about 180. That's a real, that's an excellent balance. About 180 yards rushing and about 115 yards passing.
Well, and you talk about, as we refer to him on the air, the law firm of Stewart and Stewart, because his older brother Jared did a superior job of blocking, and that's what led to that the go-ahead touchdown.
The go-ahead touchdown,
where I believe it was a 15-yard run.
Yep.
Cam Stewart behind big brother Jared,
Yep.
who just did a phenomenal job opening up a hole for him,
Right.
and boom, there's the winning score. So.
And on top of that, Mark and Stu, is the offensive line, the type of defense that Oxford ran. They were a 4-4 type defense, but they brought their linebackers up quite closely to blitz. And we got in our power eye in the front 7 because we ran out of a double tight set. They blocked tremendously, and then, like you said, Jared, the older brother, and John Sylvia, the sophomore, they were opening up holes, and Cam made a beautiful cut for the touchdown. And when you can run the ball 35 times and you average 5 yards a carry, so we tried to stay balanced. But going into the game, we wanted to be able to run the ball on these guys and then throw when our opportunities presented itself, and I think we did a pretty good job of it overall.
And even when Jared Stewart, and it doesn't show it there, but every time he did rush the ball, he got every bit of yardage.
Yep.
It was like watching a four-wheeler out there. He just kept the the legs moving, and a couple times, in fact, I remember one big play in that second half where he kept moving and dragged a pile of 4 or 5 kids with him to get a big first down to keep a drive going.
And on top of that, it's a part of the game that not too many people look at, but we focus quite a bit on, is the special teams. And his punting was tremendous. 2 or 3 times throughout the night, we pinned Oxford back inside their own 20 with once inside their 10. And when you can play the game of field position, it's a weapon that not too many people look at, but we definitely have a weapon there with him punting.
Yeah, and he had some pressure too, especially in that second half.
Yes.
But I agree, that was a huge play. One other thing that we noticed, Stu, that I was surprised Rob was able to see it because there was somebody standing in front of him, but we noticed in the offense, and we talked about adjustments before, how well Jake Taparowski and the coaching staff, when you didn't do got away from the no huddle and then sort of switched up the formation, he's got that nice ability to roll left to right, and of course being a left-handed quarterback, that opens it up and spreads that defense too.
Sure.
And I thought that played well into, and you can see that stat that Stu read off, that 65 yards he had rushing.
Correct.
So that pass run, that should be a nice weapon for you guys to have this season.
And going throughout the year, we hope to improve in situations, but that is a nice weapon to have, whether it's a designed run with him or if it's stepping up in the pocket, reading it, his receivers are covered, and then taking off. He's got that ability.
Yeah. Mark, go ahead. I'll let you do the defensive stats, and then we can talk about the big Hunter Walker play towards the end of the game.
Yeah, and we had talked earlier about this game being really a series of both on offense and defense, big plays. Probably maybe total 3, 4, 5 of them, but throughout the game that sort of not only were tests in that adversity you had mentioned earlier, but where the kids rose to the occasion, didn't let it get them down, and I think really led to this victory. And one of them, I thought, was the play of Tom Flagg. That first half, he was everywhere. We were calling 56 all night long. And he ended up with 11 total tackles, 7 solo, which is just unbelievable. Jared Stewart was 7 total tackles, 5 solo. Nick Petrillo, who we just talked about earlier, stepping into his role, ended up with a half a sack, 6 sacks. Ian St. Pierre, 4 total tackles, but a sack and a half too. And he was always in that backfield. In fact, I noticed a couple times where he was actually sort of waiting and staying and lying in wait for that quarterback.
Correct.
Was that just to sort of flush him up the middle or keep him from scrambling?
We noticed with Oxford's quarterback, he either liked to scramble and take off, or it was a designed quarterback draw or just quarterback keeper. And what we did with Nick Petrillo and Ian St. Pierre on our ends was to almost contain the quarterback and flush him back into the middle, like you said. The backbone of our defense is led by our senior captains in the middle, Jared Stewart and Tom Flagg at linebacker. And as you can tell by the tackles, those two, I think, were our top two tacklers for the game. But the design of the game was to have Nick and keep that quarterback in the middle and let the middle linebackers clean up.
Well, and looking at this list, we're probably looking at 30-something total tackles, if not more. But what I notice is how balanced it is and how spread out it is. So it wasn't just one. I mean, obviously, Tom Flagg was just, did a phenomenal job because he was everywhere. But, we got a list of 12 names here.
Yeah.
And Stu had mentioned earlier one of the big plays we want to talk about because it was, in the end, a game saver, and the stat that you explained to us, this tackle for loss, is Hunter Walker had 2 of those, and especially the what we'll call the game saver at the end. So why don't you set that up for us?
Oxford, we had gone up 20-14. Oxford got the ball back. I don't know if it was the next drive or the drive after, and they got down inside our 10, ran a few plays, which presented us with 4th and goal from our own foot line. So Oxford only needed a foot. And they decided to run the quarterback keeper over the sophomore. Well, Hunter Walker, as many of you know, is a very big sophomore. He stands 6'3", weighs 270 pounds, and he did exactly what he was supposed to, stood his guy up, shedded him.
There is the Spartan defensive play of the game, right there, as the Spartans go their back and hold the Pirates quarterback Tremblay out of the end zone.
Made the tackle for the loss, and at that point, there was still 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, but it was the game-saving tackle at that point, because after that we were able to run the clock down to preserve the victory. But if we don't make that tackle, it's a different ball game at that point. And once again, it goes back to the adversity of there's 3 or 4 opportunities for the players to step up, and Hunter Walker's a sophomore, stepped up big time for us there and his teammates.
And Stu and I were talking earlier about the sophomores. You got Hunter Walker, you got Cam Stewart, and I'll tell you what, John Sylvia did a nice job on Friday night too. I believe he's relatively new to the program, and to call his number. So it's nice to see that younger class, and we were hearing good things about that freshman class, and of course that 8th grade class, having some talent too. So it's nice to see that future and having positive things to say about that, and looking at the program as we build again this year into next year. So
that's I was just going to hit on that. I'm just looking at these stats, and I see a lot of course, obviously your senior leaders, but a lot of contributions from your juniors and even sophomores, which that's unusual at a varsity level for these young kids at first game. They're 15-year-old kids going up, 14 against the big boys and stuff, and that's a terrific thing. One more thing, Coach, to hit on, and we've mentioned it a few times, the word adversity. You were telling us that you focus one word every week or whatever, and adversity was the word for the team this week, and it certainly fit well.
To talk about how ironic, everything came together for us. It's something that when you're building with the team, we give the kids a word a week to focus now that the regular season has started on, and they're going to be faced with different challenges. And last week we started right out of the gate with focusing on the word adversity, and they are going to be met with adversity, whether it's in high school football, in the classroom, in life in general. And in teaching this, I think it also allows them to focus on it and recognize it and be able to overcome it. And we had 3 or 4 instances, including the 4th and goal, or the quarterback going down, or a situation maybe where we could have had a play that may have come out, the outcome would have benefited us better. We didn't put our heads down. And but last week's word was adversity, and sure enough, the kids stepped up when they needed to, and very proud of them as a bunch.
Well, we were talking about what a great crowd there was out at Oxford.
There was.
A nice showing from Uxbridge, so that was nice to see. And from our perspective, certainly, from the broadcast booth, you can see that camaraderie that's out there, and you can see that change in mentality and that change in attitude. And we have to assume that comes from, starting, this summer, with your first practice. And is that something? Do you start? Obviously, football is a physical game, but it's also a mental game. So
It is.
you have to coach. You have to coach both. Is that something that we talk about that balance
Yep.
that you look at doing?
Yeah, it's something that we have focused on as a program, whether it's the mental part of the game or the physical part of the game. We want everybody to be one big family. We're there for each other. We're cheering each other on, because eventually that person that's doing the cheering is going to be in the position where they're going to have to step up. And the more that they can recognize it, the better off we are as a program, as a team. And once again, proud of the way that the team handled it. But there was a pretty good crowd there that night for a traveling
Yep.
game, 40 minutes away. I want to thank everybody on TV land for coming to support the program. And but there's a lot of almost like an electricity in the air, which was fantastic. And the players see that and they feed off of it as well.
Exactly.
It's a group that's very even keel. They don't get too high, get too low, and but they do feed off of that and they recognize it as well.
Well, Stu, 1 down, 1-0, undefeated season so far. Next week is at home, first game,
Yeah.
and that new field, new school. There's a lot of new. The new is another big word for this year.
Yeah.
But there's got to be excitement there. Stu, you've seen this Southbridge team. Give us a little bit of insight on what they're going to bring to the field.
Typical. Did a scrimmage out there. Typical coach probably tell you the same thing. Quickness in the backfield. They like to mix it up. They'll come back to the weak side. They'll line up with the power and a couple guys off the line and try to do something funky out of that and stuff. But typical, tough, quick, good skill in the backfield. They definitely have athletes like they always do. So it'll be another challenge certainly. But game is at 1 o'clock this Saturday versus Southbridge. So everyone TV land, come on out, see this beautiful new facility. Coach, anything else, Mark?
No, we want to thank you. We look forward
Yep.
to doing this hopefully as often as we can. And again, one game in the books, and it was very exciting. And it was, I think, you could see it not only from the fans, but mostly from on the field too.
Yeah.
And like you said, that just translates back and forth. And so you start to build that momentum, and hopefully everybody in TV land comes out, like Stu said, comes out to watch. And if not, if you can watch on Channel 13. I think you'll see it too, and we're looking forward to this Saturday. Wish you guys a lot of luck, and hopefully we get some good weather out there again.
Yes.
Absolutely. So.
Okay, Coach, thank you, and we're going
Thank
to be
you.
back next segment with the captains.
We're here with 3 of the 5 Uxbridge football captains. Tom Flagg, Jared Stewart, Mitchell Page, 3 seniors. Guys, big victory on Friday. Why don't you give me your thoughts? How'd it feel?
Felt great. Felt great to start off the season with a win, and came out strong. Hopefully we keep the streak going.
Tom, you had a big game on defense. We had you in our stats. We had you for 11 total tackles all over the place on, especially that first half. Not that you didn't do anything in the second half, but 11 tackles to lead the team. What did you find with that Oxford offense that really helped your game?
I felt the quarterback, he did a lot of running, so I just kept my eye on him and made plays from there.
And that's all it takes, right? Just
That's
make
right.
plays. Is that what the coaches tell you?
Exactly.
Jared, big game for you as well. Let's see, both offense and defense. 19 yards rushing, 16 yards a reception, which was a big pass play. Keep a big drive going in that second half. But Coach had talked earlier was the great job you did blocking, and especially for your younger brother, as we call it on the air, the law firm of Stewart and Stewart. So, how's that feel? What's that bring to the team with the dynamic of you and your brother, and you doing all the hard work and him getting all the touchdowns?
Whatever gets the W's. Whatever gets the W's. I understand that whatever I need to do to score points, that's what I got to do. If I have to block, I'm going to go out and block. If I have to go run the ball, I'm going to run the ball as hard as possible.
Well, we noticed that on film, and you'll see that, and people will see that at home. A number of times you had the ball, you were given the ball, and you would you get those legs moving. You end up carrying 3 or 4 guys with you, and picking up 3, 4, 5 extra yards. In fact, on big play in the second half, where you picked up an additional 5 yards that kept a drive going. So where's that come from, that ability to almost like a four-wheeler, keep moving and keep moving?
It's pretty much, it's a goal I set. Once someone comes in contact with me, I hope for no more 5 yards in front.
And blocking, as Coach mentioned before, and you guys probably have been talking about all year, is that ability to complement each other and make sure that this team act as, you know, multiple pieces of a puzzle to form one. Is that sort of the mentality, Mitch, that, you know, being a captain, what, you know, with 5 of you guys being captains, what are you bringing to the table as far as leadership for, you know, not only the younger players, but, you know, to accomplish team goals?
I think all the captains really do a good job of leading by example, you know, just doing your job, and that's what's been preached to us since day one, just doing your job and helping out your teammates and really creating a family atmosphere, like a gang almost.
Well, let's talk about doing your job. That first touchdown that we scored, why don't you give us a little thought? Coach said originally you planned on kicking a field goal, but then Coach Stewart came in and said, hey, this is what we see. Well, any butterflies with that fake field goal?
Not really. I thought I overthrew him, but Oliver's quick, so he just ran in.
What was he, 6'4", and he's got some long arms,
yeah.
so, and he held on to that one, which was good. So, but that's, you know, you talk about doing your job, having quarterback experience, holding the ball, it made perfect sense.
Right, yeah.
Then you came in when Jake Tapp went down with the cramps and had a nice 16, 17-yard reception. So again, keeping things moving forward. What were your feelings then when you were called into action on short notice like that?
I was just more worried about getting the snaps down and just filling in and just picking up where we left off, and we couldn't get anything going, but I think we could have if we just made a couple more blocks and got the ball moving. I think we could have scored.
Well, that transition was seamless too, and Coach had talked about Nicky Petrillo coming in, filling in for Anthony Abate, and that,
right.
And so now we've seen 2 examples of that. Is that the beginning of the year where you guys started workouts, and you know, did you have? And Coach had talked about the 1 word a week and what you're going to focus on. Is that something that you guys are using as motivation? Is it really your goal in teaching the younger kids and your teammates? Hey, is it that family atmosphere, an all for one for all, that type of thing? Are we accurate in that statement?
Yeah.
What have you noticed? Because we noticed it, you know, filming the game. We noticed it on the field. We noticed it off the field. What have you noticed this year with this team? You know, regarding attitude, effort, things like that. You guys have been, you know, 3-4 year players. This is your 4th year for all 3 of you, I believe. What have you noticed this year that gives you an outlook, or a better outlook, a brighter outlook, versus you know, perhaps, you know, some of your past years?
Well, I think this year we're more of a close-knit family, and we're all really close friends, from me being a senior to a freshman. We're all, one person falls down, we try to pick them all up. In school, if we see each other in school, they need help in school, we'll help them all out. On the field, it's the same thing. We're all just one big group of friends.
Tom, give me your thoughts on that.
The family atmosphere is what I think about, because we all just come together and do our part to get the job done. And I feel like that's our strong point this year.
Mitch?
I think that since we have such low numbers in the upper class, you know, we really have bonded with the underclassmen and really created like a unity almost.
Well, especially with the younger players. I mean, you have sophomores already making an impact in one game, and hearing that the freshman team, the 8th graders, so that feeder program, so leadership like that will trickle down. And you guys have a big game, first game at home, new field, new school, the whole new thing. What are your thoughts? We'll get from each of you. What are your thoughts on this Southbridge game? Mitch, go ahead.
We got to get the win, start out on a good foot. Last Friday there was a big fan turnout, and we're hoping for the same thing this week. And we got to go get it.
Yeah, Jared, what do you think of that turnout? I mean, an away game, first game of the season, you know, sort of a chilly night, and all you could see is orange and black. Granted, that's the Oxford colors too, but still, who knows? I thought it was, and coaches thought the same thing, and she said that you guys could actually sense that from on the field too, that support and that enthusiasm. True?
Right. The fans really are a big part. Every big play we make, they're always yelling, screaming, just like our sidelines, and it really gets us fired up and ready to get to the next play.
Tom, we'll finish up with you. Big game that you had last Friday. You looking to do the same on Saturday?
Absolutely. They're going to come out. They're fast and physical. We just got to be ready to take them on and stop them.
Well, like I said, Coach and I had talked about before, I was very impressed with, there were a series of challenges throughout that game in all 4 quarters, both on offense and on defense, and you guys met all those challenges head on. You had a 14-0 lead, got back to 14 easily in the second half. Is that something that you guys sense that, hey, we gave a 14-0 lead, but it didn't get you down? What is that motivation you're getting from coaches, from each other, or both, that really gets you through those games and gives you that goal to look forward to?
I think adversity really was the key that week, because the momentum swung for them in their favor. We had a couple great plays, and it went back to ours, and we finished out the game. We got the victory. So I think that helped.
The three of you had a real good game. You had some nice stats that we talked about earlier. The plays that we talked about, all big plays, the contributions. And to see that leadership trickle down into those sophomores and the juniors, and then eventually the freshmen and 8th graders, is going to be a lot of fun to watch this season. So I appreciate your guys' time. Wish you guys the best of luck on Saturday, and I'm sure we'll see you here again at some point in the future. So we'll get the other 2 captains in here in just a few minutes. We're back with our 2 captains, other 2 captains. Jake Taporowski Jr., Nick Petrillo, newly named captain. So congratulations on that. And congratulations, more importantly, on that big win Friday night. So why don't you guys get right into it. Give me your first impressions on Game 1 of the 2013 season.
I thought we played well. Could have played better. Line needs to communicate a little bit more. They blitzed a lot. But overall, we got the W, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but we won.
It looked like they were doing a lot of that stunting on the line, sort of coming in, coming out. And you guys, I'll give you credit, that line I thought held for the most part throughout that game. You didn't see a whole lot of, motion penalties or anything like that, but it did a good job with that blitz. Well, Jake, you can answer that question better. Is that a true statement?
I think they did a really good job. I didn't have much pressure, and then when they did, Stu and Jared Stewart and Cam Stewart picked up the blitz pretty well. And I feel like we drove the ball well down the field, but when we got in the red zone, we got to finish more and put it in the end zone to get those points.
Well, you're being a junior on this team, a quarterback, and a sophomore last year, your first year starting. Any differences in whether it be your line or just the overall team concept or just your overall teammates? Any differences that you see that you look to this team, being that much more successful this year?
I think we're much more focused. The line is, I think, stepped up this year with communication and picking up reads and stuff and blitzes, and that's pretty much it.
Nick, you stepped into a position, Anthony Abate went down with injury, and we couldn't even tell. We didn't even know until coaches told us. So that seamless transition, we saw Mitch Page come in for Jake when he went down for a series. So how did that, is that something that this team really has as an asset to be able to, almost like just fill a block as needed, fill a space as needed?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a huge team, but everyone's willing to step up if they have to. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. Everyone pays attention, and me being a senior, I felt like I had to step up. And I never played line before, but I liked it. I had some fun.
The coaches had talked about, especially in the other 3 captains that were in here before you guys, that team leadership with 5 captains now, 4 of them being seniors. What do you bring as a senior to this team, as far as not only for your coaches but for your other teammates?
I guess the younger people look up to me. I'm a senior, and I have to do my best every time, every practice, go 100%, and they just look up to me.
You had 6 tackles, you had 1 for a loss, and you had half a sack, so that's not a bad stat line for a Friday night and to open up a season.
Yeah.
Jake, you were 7 for 16, 95 yards passing, and 6 for 62 rushing with the TD.
Yeah.
So, and again, that little cramping issue, which we thought, fortunately, wasn't, but we thought it was a little more serious because we couldn't figure out. I believe there was a fumble there.
Yeah.
They had,
my leg just cramped up, and I just couldn't move, and I just like stopped. My body stopped, basically. So I just jumped on the ball. And then,
And Mitch Page stepped right in,
Yeah,
and again, seamlessly, and having that senior leadership and, of course, a quarterback experience in there. What do you guys see for Saturday with Southbridge?
they're a much quicker team. They're not as big as Oxford, but they're much fast and they're tough. I think they're going to be a little better than Oxford is.
Nick?
Yeah, they'll be a little better, but there's no reason why we can't go out there and win. We're going to practice well this week and be prepared.
The other guys talked about you guys being focused and having a family atmosphere. What's your thought on this team and being, two of the 5 leaders? What's your thought on the overall makeup of this team?
Like everyone's a family, like they said. Like we can share anything. Like it doesn't have to be football related. It can be anything, schoolwork or just something that happened. We can talk about it and work it out if it's bad or good. No one cares about anything. Like they all work together to make everything better.
I assume you agree with that? Make that easy for you?
Yeah.
That game, and we got into it with Coach Martellio as well, that game had a lot of, opportunities not only for you to perform what you did, but opportunities for you to meet adversity, where you had a 14-0 lead. You had to overcome that. They came back, tied it up. Tell us a little bit about that, where you had your first set of challenges, yet continually met them. What's the reason behind that? Is that from workouts, starting in workouts this summer? Is it coaching? Or is it just that family focus, team attitude that you guys have, or is it all of it?
I think it's all of it. I mean, we were up 14-0, then we came back. They came back 14-14, and that goal line stop really changed the momentum right around, and we just want to win. I mean, everyone's giving 100%, and we got to stop.
Jake?
Oh, I think the momentum swing was really huge because in years past, once it swung the other way, we really had never got it back. I think it's from the leaders and the coaching staff to help the momentum swing back and for us to get the W.
Well, that's one thing we noticed too, is that you guys played 60 minutes of football,
Yep.
and it wasn't just one half, and we talked about it when we aired the game on Channel 13. Is you're going to run into a series of tests, and like Coach said, adversity was the word of the week, I believe.
Yep.
And for you to meet them head on and meet those challenges and not only overcome them, but turn it into a win was just a spectacular performance. So it's nice to be 1-0, huh?
Yeah.
Undefeated so far.
Feels good.
But a big challenge on Saturday. The other guys made a point to let me know that Nick, that you're the team speller. That they're going to send you to the spelling bee this year.
No.
Is that
Yes.
true?
No.
Well, on that note, I appreciate your time. We look forward to the game on Saturday. We look forward to everybody coming out. New facility, new team more or less, new attitude, and we look forward to 2-0 this Saturday. So good luck, guys. We'll see you on Saturday, and we'll be back after this.
Stu and I, Mark Gallagher, back for a final segment here. Mark, well, been a great night here. We talked to the coach a bit, met the captains. Hopefully, and I was just talking to Coach out there, what we'd like to do, certainly sooner than later, is get all fall sports captains in here and stuff, so a little equal time for everyone. So I guess that's our next mission to work on. And again, good luck to all the fall sports, field hockey, soccer, cross country, boys and girls. So, so this Saturday we got a big football game.
Yeah, first home game at the new field. We encourage everybody to come out. New facility, of course, the new school. Excellent turf field. First time for Uxbridge, again, to be at home on the road against Oxford with a big 20-14 win. So they look to carry on, as you heard from all the captains, that I think they've got a lot of good momentum, Stu, this year. They're saying all the right things. More importantly, they're doing all the right things.
Right.
We saw that on the field on Friday, and you'll see that on the replay on Channel 13 of that Oxford game. But you mentioned it earlier, Southbridge will be a challenge. They're a quick team, so nothing's giving. But the one thing I've learned from Friday night, and then again talking to the kids and to the coach too, was that is the attitude, and I really like the way way that the direction that they're going, the things that they're saying, and of course the things that they're doing.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole, whole program. I'm looking for a big year from them. And also in 2 weeks, that'll be homecoming, I believe, against North, and that is a Saturday afternoon game?
Saturday, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, okay. This Saturday is 1 o'clock, and the following Saturday, I believe that's the 28th, is 2 o'clock. So people in TV land, just check the TNG or whatever. It's on the Uxbridge High website, or what's the other one, High School Sports.
Right.
Different websites you can get to, any changes or any scheduling in the game.
And of course, you can use those same sources for the other fall sports too, as Stu mentioned too. Is
That's right.
Boys and girls soccer, cross country, field hockey.
Right.
We encourage them, and we do look to have all those kids on this program as well.
Yeah, just the same vein there. Check. Yeah, you just said it. We encourage all fall sports to come out and watch it. It's can't beat it. Nice fall weather now and everything. So
check your local listing. Stay tuned.
That's right. And also hit the snack bar led by Jane Brashani Gallagher. I'm hearing that's going to be better than ever this year. So
the Uxbridge Boosters, absolutely, and they have a Facebook page, Uxbridge Boosters, on Facebook, because they do an excellent job of supporting these student athletes, and of course we look for the community to support them. As well, not only in attendance, but there's plenty of Spartan wear,
right?
Fundraising, the whole 9 yards too. So it's this can be a total community effort for every fall sport, as well as the spring and winter sports.
Eat a light breakfast on Saturday morning, so you can come and eat 3 to 4 hot dogs on Saturday afternoon and enjoy the game.
I'm sure Mrs. Page and Mrs. Stewart are whipping up things as we're speaking. So
excellent.
On that note,
well, that wraps it up, Mark. Another good show, and hopefully we'll see everyone cheering on the Spartans. Fall sports teams and big game on Saturday with the football team versus Southbridge. So go Spartans. And on that note, anything else, Mark?
Nope, other than the fact that we'll hopefully have Rob Finnegan's booster seat ready for next show, and we'll see him next time. I owe him a few from the Brashani Gallagher London comments back in the summer in the first show.
That's right.
None of which were true.
The royal baby.
But I may or may not have had a hand in that as far as the delivery goes. But it was a great trip. It's just Gallagher. That's all we need to work on.
All right.
So, we look forward to this Saturday, next Saturday, a week from now, 2 big football games coming up, and certainly every other the soccer, field hockey,